when you take your critical processes tied to revenue and you trust Agentforce revenue management, you trust the composability, you trust the robust APIs, you bring your humans and you bring your agents together so that your revenue flows and that your customers are as successful as they can possibly be, and trust deepens all throughout that relationship. But seeing is believing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stop sharing. I think, Tunde, you are ready to take over.
I am indeed. Thank you. So the first one is around a kind of an autonomous consumption agent. So think of a traditional AE who's constantly monitoring dashboards to see if a customer is nearing their usage limits. It's manual, it's error prone. If the AE is not available, then nothing happens. It often means that the customer is leaving money on the table or surprising the customer with overage fees. So here we are, starting point in an AE's inbox. And in the inbox, the AE's got an email. The email says there's an upsell opportunity for a particular organization. So here's our contact, Marcus. He's leveraged his allocation for a particular sewage charge and indicates a strong expansion opportunity. The agents also generated some context for the AE as they're looking through. Based on recent conversations, it looks like they're consistently using up their usage, and then there's no renewal on top of that so-called despite active status. That means, in effect, as an organization, you've left money on the table. And there's action to the AE as well. Connect with the customer, validate drivers, position uplift. So here we're in a tiering position and ensure that we're capturing the additional value that we're getting. One of the things that we're going to look at is the opportunity. So here we are in Salesforce. We're looking at the opportunity for the particular organization. So here we're seeing Marcus and the work that Marcus is doing. And you can see that an opportunity has been set up already that needs analysis with some information. So there's context between the email that the AE's got and also what the AE is seeing when they log into Salesforce. So you can see the same message around constant overuse or breast exhaustion of their particular charge. But what's happening in the background? What I wanted to show you, I think, is just a little bit of what you find in some of the extension. So here is a simple flow. The flow is scheduled to run daily. So here you'd see, for example, the flow runs daily and it checks. What does it check? It checks the products that are in the system and looks for the usage that's been loaded into Salesforce. From that activity, you can go through and see all it's doing is getting your product grants from your objects in Salesforce. The data is in Salesforce already. And then we're looking at a couple of things. So the first thing is how much usage has the customer used and how much they use in the last run. So there is a calculation here as to how much consumption the customer has and then they've gone through. At the point where we're generating anything to say if the customers use more than their grants, more than they're available for, they more than likely should move into a different stage. You then have this consumption analysis action that then drives into a simple Apex action here. This could be another flow, for example, but in this scenario, it's a simple Apex action. And the Apex action creates an opportunity, and then it creates a notification for the AE as well. So where an email is going out to the AE to do X or Y, as I say, what you saw with the email is driven by this flow in the process. So here we are extending what's happening with the consumption agent. There is already a consumption agent on the platform as out of the box. But here we're extending the capability of that consumption agent to also add notification to the AE into their flow of work. That could go to a Slack channel, that could go to their mobile phone. Here they have a ready-made opportunity that is available to be worked on, a customer that is already willing. And the conversation could go on two ways. We're going to pay the one-off overage fee and that's done. Or it could be an upsell opportunity. We have tiers of this particular grant. You're on level 1, there's levels 2, 3, and 4. Maybe you're in a place where you're pushing on and your business is growing. So the customer can then say, right, hey, you work with me, I work with you. I need to move to the next level, and therefore I get the better rates because my business is growing. And you can turn that instead of a nasty bill to the customer, as I think Claire mentioned at the start, it then becomes like an opportunity for your customer. They can see that you're looking after them, you understand their customer value, you understand what they mean to you, and then you're doing the best by them, ensuring that they're in the right tiers of your organization.